Okay, what we're trying to prove here is that the tangent squared minus the sine squared equals this product sine squared x times tangent squared x. So we can only work with one side. We're going to work with a more complicated side, the tangent squared x minus the sine squared x, okay? And we're going to manipulate this using identities and algebra, and we're eventually going to get to here, and that's the idea on this thing. Well, I look at this and I see where I'm headed. I'm headed really to what? Sine squared times sine squared over cosine squared. So it might do me some good to change everything here to sines and cosines. That might be a good idea. So I think I'm going to do that. And this gives me sine squared x over cosine squared x, right? That's what the tan squared is, minus sine squared x over 1. I'm going to put that over 1 so I can see that I have two fractions there. And one of the tricks in simplifying identities, if you have two fractions, you add them. If you have one fraction, you split them apart. You do whatever you can to change things. So I get a common denominator there. Is clearly, I'll use the cross multiplication method. Cosine squared times 1 is cosine squared x. And then 1 times sine squared is sine squared. There's a negative in the middle, so I use a negative. And then sine squared times cosine squared. Right? Okay, I did what I said I was going to do. I added the two fractions together. Let me get that clear. Now, what I want to do is come up with a product, and one way to come up with a product is to factor. So I think I'm going to factor the sine squared out of here. I'm going to hope for something really good. And if I do that, I get 1 minus cosine squared x. And all of that is over the cosine squared x. Now I know from my Pythagorean identity that 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared, because sine squared plus cosine squared equals 1. So 1 minus cosine squared is sine squared. So this equals sine squared times sine squared x, okay, over cosine squared x. Now I could split this fraction into sine squared times sine squared over cosine squared, sine squared over 1, okay, times sine squared x over cosine squared x. Okay. Why? Because when I multiply top times top, I get this. Bottom times bottom, I get that. And this is times, isn't it? Put a dot there. So this is sine x, and of course this is tangent squared x. So this equal, and it's a product, it's sine squared x times tangent squared x. And that is exactly where I wanted to get, sine squared x plus tangent squared x. Very tricky little identity, really, but it's a nice one to see because we use the trick of changing everything to sine and cosines, and then when we had a fraction, we took the sum of two fractions, we added them together for one fraction, and then we changed it into a product. So it was kind of nice.